Hello and welcome back to the online piano school. Today we're on piece 9. I love this piece, I'm really proud of it, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun while playing. So if you want to learn this piece and get hold of the music, all you have to do is go to robharveymusic.com, join my school, just punch in your email address and I will send you a link to all of my previous pieces so far, my worksheets and my checklists to help you get playing the piano at a high standard. But before we jump in, let's take a listen to the backing track. I'm liking it. This is going to be a fun one. So, what is different about this piece compared to, let's say, Lost? Well, it's at 125 beats per minute. It's about the same actually. Last one was 115, so this is slightly quicker. We don't have any flats, we have a single sharp being F, and there's something written right next to the beats per minute sign. Swing. So instead of, let's say, if I play a C major scale, that's what's called playing straight, where everything is even. But swung sounds like this. But this can be written down without displaying any change in rhythm. It can literally be the same number of quavers within a bar, but all they have to do at the start of a piece or just above that bar is say that all quavers equal a dotted crotchet followed by a quaver, or a variation of that sort of style. It gives you the same feel. There's a few more technical things, but you can pretty much guarantee if you see a little equation where you see two quavers equals and a dotted something into something else, or something with a 3 over the top, it's representing swing. Okay, so what else do we have to look out for? Now, in the last episode, I did say I'm getting rid of the whole concept of having ped written down, but I think it's kind of wise to have that as the first symbol for the sustain pedal, as you can see in bar 1. And then from then on, I'm going to the vertical lines and the horizontal line betwixt them. I've never used that word before, it's a good word. In line 2, you can see that I've written the words, use the pedal with the chord changes. Now, I could have written semil, but as it was going to a different line, I still wanted to try and convey exactly what I wanted. So you can see the chords, and we haven't really done much on them, the chords, that is, we don't need to, but in a later episode I will. You can see above bar 5, bar 7 and bar 8 we've got an EM, a C, a G and D. These represent different chords. You can look at my music theory video on chords if you want to learn about them. But all you need to do at the moment is to see that chord and think, right, that's when my pedal's going down. If I see a new chord, then I've got to lift up the pedal and put it straight back down again when that chord arrives. The final big thing that we need to get in, and I've spotted something else as well, but the final big thing is these groups of notes in section B, D, and there's a few in F and dotted around the place. These notes are essentially quavers. You can see that you've got, let's take bar 9 for example, you've got 12 quavers within that bar. Now, this piece is in 4/4. We know that a quaver lasts a half beat. How many halves can you fit into 4? Well, it should be 8, but now it's 12 because that 3 above each group of 3 notes does not represent what finger to use. It represents the style of note. It's no longer a quaver, it's a triplet. So the way you play triplets is you fit 3 quavers into every crotchet length beat. So it's going to sound, in bar 9, I'm jumping in a little bit, but in bar 9 it's going to sound like this. I'm just looping it to be honest. And you get the picture. It's got this dun 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 dun. You can feel the first beat of every triplet is the bobbing of the crotchet. It gives quite a nice motion, and the other two are sort of filling the gap. And it's got this swaying feel. It's not quite swing, but it's remarkably close. The swing happens at the start. So let's get straight to it. Line 1, first 2 bars, they could sound like this. Or with the pedal. That's boring. Swing is what we need. And you can think about it as saying Scooby-Dooby, Scooby-Dooby, Scooby-Dooby. Yeah? Scooby-Dooby, it's got a feel of swing, so it goes like this. Much better. Let's take bars 3 and 4. And it's important to pick out the crotchets and minims and anything that is not a quaver is unaffected by the swing. So as soon as you get to bar 4, those crotchets in the right hand are even. So line 1 sounds like this, straight. Truly boring. Now with swing. Just think Scooby-Dooby and you'll get the swing. Scooby-Dooby, Scooby-Dooby, Scooby-Doo. So on and so forth. Line 2, we've got swing still. The swing carries throughout the whole piece, so don't worry about that. But have a look at bar 6. We've got one of these triplets. And this is going to be quite difficult for me to try and give you the timing for, but I'm going to try my best. When I wrote this piece, and this is how it sounds now, those 2 bars, oh no, let's say the whole line sounds like this. You can feel we've got those little runs. And then, if I tried quavers, you end up with. And the previous notes before don't go on for long enough, so I had to use the 2/3 of a triplet, which makes life very confusing. So you could, I guess, count it as, sometimes I go triplet, 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 triplet to think about how the rhythm goes. So the B in bar 6 is holding on to until beat 4, which is for tri or palet, which you don't need to play, and then you've got palet straight into the next note. Palet 1, palet 1, 2, 3, 4. So I guess we could count, I'll ignore the first 2 quavers in bar 6, but we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, palet 1, 2, 3, 4, palet 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of fits. It's more of a feel than anything else. You'll hear it in the backing track. I've got the piano only version on the website at robharveymusic.com if you need to have a listen to that as well. But get that feel down and you can make some really cool music with those runs that you wouldn't otherwise get just by using quavers or semi-quavers. Let me play that line for you, both hands. Nice. Don't forget, follow the fingers. Any 3 you see above the notes in a group of 3, that's a triplet, not the fingers. And I would warn you not to follow exactly what I'm doing because I've just realised I'm ignoring my own finger patterns. But speaking of them, have a look at bar 5. You have a 3 followed by a 2. That's leading on from the previous bar, so it's a little bit weird. You're going to go 3, 2 to get your hand back in position. So you'll have come back from bar 4 on a 3, on a B, and then on that second quaver of bar 5, you need to quickly swap it because you need to get your hand back reset like you had in bar 1. Oh, okay, section B. Let's get those quavers in. Triplets, of course. And a repeat. We've not covered these yet. That's new. Okay, so a repeat is represented by the 2 dots just at the end of the line that I finished. Those 2 dots tell you to go back either to the start, or if there are any other dots that look exactly the same but facing the other way, go back to them. So you can see at the start of section B, I've got a double bar line followed by 2 dots, so that's telling you that's the start of a repeat. So when you get to the end of bar 12, you're going to go back to bar 9 and repeat it just the one time. So if you're going to play through this piece, you've got line 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. You go back and repeat 3 and 4. I mean, that's how section B goes. Left hand, jumping fifths, Not as nasty as the last piece, but just be aware of where your hand positions are. Your right hand doesn't need to be looked at all. Your left hand, maybe you might want to double check where it's going, but the jumps aren't too far, so try and do it without looking. Section C. Right, this is the same as section A, exactly the same in the right hand. However, the left hand is now all crotches. So it's going to sound like this. I'm going to keep that in there. I made a mistake. I'm just going to be proud of it. That's what it sounds like. Pay attention on those jumps from the C and G to the G and D, because it's a big jump. That was the one in 17, 18, 19, 19 to 20. That jump, I'm going to practice a few times. If I'm making mistakes, it's worth going over. I might have to do that myself. So now we're on to section D. We've got more triplets and lots of threes. Let's break it down. You've got a 3 underneath the first note in bar 21, first note being a B. So, third finger. So you're going to go B, A, G, and we know it's a triplet, but I might not do the rhythm right now. Then we've got a 3 underneath the F, which is a sharp, don't forget, and the next note that comes up, so that's the fourth note of bar 21. So we've got B, A, G, then third finger needs to come over the top to hit the F sharp, and then E, D with the other fingers, and now you're in the right place for the other notes. So here's how the pattern goes. It goes B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, E, F sharp, D, E. I'm getting quite good at rapidly reading out notes, having written these pieces. Anyways, here's how it sounds at speed. It's quite cool. It's quite cool, and it just repeats. Repeat. Then bar 24, we're starting an octave higher, still on a B. Same pattern to the F sharp, third finger over the top. Then third finger sort of over the top, more of a jump to the next B where you were before. And then third finger over the top again to the F sharp. So you started high, repeat, an octave lower. So that whole section sounds like this, or those two lines anyway. I love it. It sounds so cool. This piece has such a drive to it. Okay, so bar 25, it's nice and relaxed. And in fact, I've got double dynamics there. You've got right hand at MF, left hand at MP. I'm just trying to make sure that the right hand's accented enough to be able to be heard over the left hand, which I want to be quite nice and soft. What you can also see in bar 25, in that left hand, is the E is a semi-breathe, but the B's are crotches. So what that means is you've got to play both notes at the same time to begin with, on the first beat, and you've got your thumb playing only for beats 2, 3 and 4, while the left hand holds down. So together, thumb, together. So on and so forth. This continues throughout section E all the way until the last 2 bars of the piece. And section E is the same as section C, just with those patterns in the left hand. Instead of really forceful chords, it's sort of just a little bit more laid back. I like the feel, but it's still loud. You can see there are repeat markings, and I've said repeat 1 octave higher. So when you go back for the second time from bar 34, once you're at the end of bar 34, you'll be going back to 27. Repeat exactly what you played in the right hand, but 1 octave higher. Does exactly what it says on the tin. I'm not going to play that now. You'll hear that in a moment when I play through the whole piece. Section F, those first 2 bars, they're fine, they're nice and easy. The last bit of the piece, quite a bit of fun here. We've got a repeat of the octave higher triplets with the third finger over the top. Left hand is playing chord, dot underneath meaning staccato, bouncy. We've got to come off it pretty quick. Repeat, and then right hand comes down an octave and repeats the same sort of thing that we had in section D, with the left hand doing that bounce again, and then E in the right hand with the fifth in the left hand, staccato again, bouncy. SFZ stands for sforzando, and it means suddenly loud. So it's starting that last 2 bar section loud, you're making sure that last note is as strong as it possibly can be. Right, I should probably play you the whole piece. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot in that piece, I'll be honest. There's going to be a bit to practice. The massive thing, like the sections themselves aren't horrific. Yes, they're fast. That stuff though stays in one place. This stuff is only one finger movement and it flows quite nicely. The difficulty is the jumps between the sections. You've got from bar 12 to bar 13, there's a very quick jump from straight back to that. You've got to go from your second finger on the F sharp, annoyingly, straight to your second finger on the B. Not ideal. I didn't really realise that when I was playing. Lesson learnt now. In terms of finger positions, do as I say, not as I do. I've got to the point where I'm very comfortable with where my fingers are a lot of the time, so I can get away with not using the correct fingers. In a piece like this, it won't be the same for you for a little bit of time until you practice more pieces and got used to more music. But I've got everything written in as accurately as possible. When I haven't written in fingers, like in section C, or there's parts halfway through section D, or parts halfway through section B. The reason being is that I've already written in the pattern somewhere else, so you will have already come across it. So section C with the right hand is exactly the same fingers as section A, because it's the same melody, the same as section E. I'm just trying to, one, preserving, not really, but preserving, and two, try and keep the piece from being as messy as possible. Like section C, again, I'm saying use the pedal with the chord changes. Same with section E, use the pedal with the chord changes, just because we don't need all of those sustain pedal lines. We just need to be told what to do. Well, I hope you enjoyed the piece. I certainly did. It may be my favourite out of all 10. Yeah, piece 10 is written, and I wanted to feel better about piece 10 than piece 9, as I sort of have with all of them. But piece 9's a tough one to break. Tough one. Right, so stay motivated, keep practicing, grab the music, grab the backing tracks, all from my website, robharveymusic.com, and I will see you in piece 10. Happy practicing.